The Flame series finally has a brand new model with future in its name. At 361 degrees, future means new tech. The best stuff they've got goes into shoes that carries the future suffix. Today, let's talk about the Flame 5 Future and see exactly what makes it future and who is really beautiful. I started this channel to review Chinese running products. More importantly, it's my way of forcing myself to practice spoken English. I'm self-sponsored and money doesn't grow on trees. Whether good or bad, I'm going to give you my honest review without filtering. Let's dive in from the specs. The official numbers are 30mm in the forefoot, 36mm in the heel, with a 6mm drop. Sometimes 361 degrees includes the insole in the stack height. Sometimes they don't. To figure it out, I did an A/B test with Adios Pro 4, which has a 39mm heel stack. Now, I can say for sure, the official numbers include the insole. The 5 Future is lower to the ground. So, what exactly makes this new Flame 5 Future so future? Looking across the entire Flame lineup, whether the Flame 5, last year Flame 4, or the newer 5 Mix and 4 ET, they've all used beaded forming, aka popcorn forming. This forming process started with Adidas Ultra Boost, and it's been around for about 10 years. The process is very well established, so costs are low. The 5 Future uses Preform forming, also called embryo forming, something I've talked about since last year's Xtep 160X 6.5. The whole forming process is basically like baking bread. You start with a small dough-like embryo, made from raw material like PIBA or TPU, then blow it up into a big foam block inside a high-pressure physical forming autoclave. So, in the industry, folks just call it small to large forming. This way, you get a lighter missile form, about 30% lighter than beaded forming in the same densities. That's the future part right there. My size 45 weighs 238 grams, which is in line with mainstream racing shoes. It fits true to size. For reference, I usually wear 45 in Chinese brands and 46 in Hoka and New Balance. After the basics, let's take a look at the details. The upper in the toe box is relatively snug, but it's still pretty comfortable and well ventilated. The tongue is super thin. It's attached to the upper on one side. It doesn't fold over when your foot is in, and there is no lace bite either. In the back, the shoe is a bit floppy here, with just a bit of structure. And there is a small bumper pad inside. Overall, it's a standard minimal racing upper nowadays. Nothing ever caused irritation, and I really appreciated that there is no heel lift. But that snug fit might be a bit tight for some people with wider feet. With that out of the way, let's talk about the pros and cons of actually running in it. So what was it like to run? In all the stuff, I will say that the shoe was agile and swift movement. It feels lighter and airier than its actual weight would suggest. To explain that, let's zoom in on the midsole. The 5 Future uses dual density setup, softer on top, firmer underneath. This midsole foam is made from TPEE. Does that remind you of a certain big brand? In fact, two major A brand and 361-degree sun models all source their midsole from the same Chinese foaming factory. One of those A brands seems especially keen on keeping that quiet. So I'm not gonna name any names. What I can say is that I did an A/B test between the 5 Future and the Adios Pro 4. Both foams are TPEE based. The difference is that the 5 Future uses Preform foaming, while the Pro 4 uses sheeting foaming. Underfoot, their energy return feels nearly identical, but the 5 Future responds faster. High energy return plus quick response give me a punchy ride. Then there is the carbon plate. It's a less rigid carbon plate, not the kind that launches you forward, but it's unusual in the width. In most sandwich structure shoes, you can't feel the plate when you pinch the glue line, but in 5 Future, you can actually see the carbon plate, and pinching it even feels a bit sharp. What it does is kind of amplify the force. It spreads the force from your strides more evenly across a large area of the foam, helping you get more rebound with every toe off. I think these two things add up to that lightweight, swift sensation. According to the product page, the 5 Future midfoot and heel are about 1 cm narrower than the Flame 5, while the forefoot width stays the same. This design leans more toward faster runners. The narrower platform drops weight and reduces ground contact friction, shortening ground time. Combined with that flex carbon plate, the result is that it feels incredibly agile and nimble. When doing reps on the track, I absolutely love it. Even attacking corners around the 320 per kilometer pace, I didn't have to slow down. No feeling of getting stuck or rolling an ankle. It's just as smooth as running straight, nice and disappearing. I think the also lug pattern helps too. Those tiny, spike-like lugs grip the track. It felt really tacky during corners. I've put about 50 kilometers on these shoes so far. The heel area CPU rubber shows some scuffing. I'd call it average in terms of durability, but the forefoot is holding up great. I think this shoe requires a bit more attention to how your foot hit the ground to really get the most out of it. It feels bouncier with a nice toe spring rather than a roll. If I slow down and roll back on the heel, it's a bit underwhelming. Before wrapping up, I want to compare it to some more well-known shoes to help you better understand the Flame 5 Future from a ride characteristic standpoint. Earlier, I touched on how it differs from the Adios Pro 4. The Adios Pro 4 definitely has a squishy foam with a lot of compression and decompression movement, and it returns energy slower than the 5 Future. The 5 Future midsole foam feels denser. I get less compression, but still get the same energy return. The previous Adios Pro 3, I would always call it, or classic Light Strike Pro foam, feels more springy and firm, like you never really sink into it, but it responds very fast. The 5 Future seems to sit right between them. If you really like the quick response of the Pro 3, but found it firm, or thought the Pro 4 was too soft, then the 5 Future might be your choice. It's snappier than the Pro 4 and softer than the Pro 3, and it keeps that same great bouncing ride underneath. Where it falls short compared to the Adios Pro series, at least for me, a 68 kilogram runner who powers off the ball of my foot. I'm not sure the 5 Future can hold up for a full marathon. On my first long run, around 18 kilometers in, the forefoot foam started losing some pep. I think that's partly due to its lower stack height, 3 mm thinner than the Adios Pro series midsole. That reminded me of another big brand shoe, the Nike Vaporfly 4. For me, the Vaporfly also bottoms out around 16 kilometers. But the difference is that the Vaporfly foam flattens out like the foam got compressed. The 5 Future loses some bounce, but the midsole kind of still kept its physical shape. Kind of because the Vaporfly foam is softer and more dynamic than the 5 Future. The Vaporfly 4 also has a very narrow platform from the midfoot to the heel. I think 361 degrees took some inspirations from Nike here, splitting their racing line into 2 paths, one for runners with more powerful toe-offs, like the Vaporfly or the Flame, and another with lower stack height for lighter runners or short distance like 10K or half marathon performance. For a lot of us average runners, especially lighter weight runners and female runners, the 5 Future would be a solid interval shoe or race day shoe. It's fast but not aggressive, fast but not hard on the body. For my audience who are super fast guys, it's a great choice for hard efforts, track reps, road intervals, anything where you are pushing the pace. It's just impressive. In my eyes, this is 361 degrees fastest and more efficient racing product yet. But keep in mind, if not on your toes, at least you are going to be a midfoot runner to really activate the best part of the midsole. Alright, that's all I wanted to share with you today. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions about this shoe or tips for improving English speaking. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. I'll be bringing you more on Chinese running products. Follow if you are interested, and I hope you have a good one.